So let's animate a scene. I got a guy standing here, and I got exposure sheet. This is going to be scene 2. And what you do is you write here at the top that it's the man standing, and we're holding for 8 frames. Then we anticipate the movement. We put one drawing here for the anticipation down to here. So that's the actual holding, not holding, but the visible anticipation movement, and that's the in-between to get to it. And then he's going to move his arm up, and we're going to take an in-between here and in-between here, and that's the end move is number 11. We're going to settle into that 13 and 15. So let's see if we can start animating this according to our sheets. And so we have our man holding here. We need an anticipation drawing. And since we're using just rough figures like this, we don't have to be very exact. Turn that out so we can see that better. And the anticipation is that his arm is going to move up to point, right? So our anticipation should be going in the opposite direction, and we're going to have his hand go up here in the opposite direction. Like that, and everything else, we can do a little bit of movement on the other parts of his body, like his other arm moving slightly. Look at that. Look at that. And maybe even have his head move back a tiny bit. Yeah, just move his head back a little bit. So that'll be drawing 5. And then let's throw in a quick in-between there. And this will be drawing 3. And we'll just make it halfway between drawings 1 and 5. So his head in between this. And we want his arm to go up, and it favors there like that. And this arm here, this. And check your movement with drawing 3 down on top of 1 and drawing 5 down on top of 3. Hold down here and check. Let's see if that's what you want. Now let's take those 2 drawings off, and next pose is going to be his arm up. And what's his arm up doing? His arm and his body are going to go like this. His head is going to be here. And let's say his other arm went out this way, just as a counterbalance. So that is drawing 11. And so we now need drawings 7 and 9. And so we want to have this arm swing up in an arc. So let's put drawing 7 like this, close to this one's going to swing down a little bit like that. So I'm just using lines. I'm not doing a lot of fill-ins. And we want the head to kind of stay back. Seven. And then we're going to do 9. And for this one, let's keep his head back a little bit. And I think his arm is going to go further out like this as it swings up. And his body's going to swing out a little bit like that. Follow his arm. Kind of like that. Keep everything simple with just lines, and it makes it a lot easier later on. Take your pages up. Check your movements. Here's 5. 7, 9, and 11. Goes out for 9, starts to come back. Maybe you want to change that so his hand stays out a little bit like that. And since you're doing simplified drawings, it's not that big a deal to just erase a little bit of his hand. That's only a circle. Now we're going to settle back, and our final drawing is going to be number 15. So that will be his head settles back. Well, actually his head catches up to the rest of the movement. Maybe his arm relaxes for the settle drawing, like that. And we said this is going to be 15. And his hand is going to relax back here. Here's his elbow. And we'll get another stick figure here. And we need a drawing 13 to go between 11 and 15. So let's have that one kind of close to 15, like that. this hand starts to relax into it like this. And you see how much easier it is to do this when you're using very simplistic lines and shapes. Take that off. There's drawing 11 and 13 and 15. And then you can turn off the light just to see how it all works. And there's 1, 3. Is that one? Oh, I'm sorry. There's 5, 7 as his arm starts to swing up. 9. And then after 9 comes 11. So 9 and 11 kind of hang out there. 13 comes back, and 15 is the final settle pose there. Just erase a little bit of your thing there. And you can use a little color stuff just to help you so you know what's happening. And then you go over your final drawings and make sure everything is working the way you want it, because it's your animation. Maybe his head was tilted a little bit for the final drawing, but you add all the details in later on. So we started with a drawing 1, did an anticipation to 5, we moved his arm up to point, drawing 11, and then it settled back to 15. That's our final drawing. And that's how you quickly do a scene, and then you send it off to camera. Tell the camera guy to hold that drawing. 15, tell him to hold all the way down to here. And then you draw your line across the bottom here. And you're right. Cut. And you should use a ruler instead of freehanding it like I would. I would usually do. Sometimes I would freehand the line across. And checking might say, well, why don't you use a ruler? So here's our ruler. So there you have it, a short, quick lesson on exposure sheets, timing, spacing, and everything else. If you were doing layouts, you would mark this 12 field center like that. And you put a BG here, which might be BG2 because it's scene 2. So get yourself some X sheets. You can download them on the internet and print them out, or keep them digital on your computer like we do in Photoshop, and start your own scene. And we'll see you next time.